So in this lecture, I would like to discuss about the next topic, that is theories of coordination compounds. In the previous few lectures, we discussed what are coordination compounds, what is the nomenclature of the coordination compounds, what is about isomerism in coordination compounds, characteristics of complex ion. So each and everything being discussed by us. So let us going to discuss now theories of coordination compounds. So first theory, which is given in the syllabus, Warner's theory of coordination compounds. Warner's theory of coordination compounds. Warner was the first scientist to explain about the coordination compound. Warner theory explain the number of assumptions, postulates. So let us see the postulates of the Warner theory, which are very important. So according to the Warner theory, each metal exhibits two types of valencies. In a complex or in a compound, coordination compound, each metal shows two types of valencies, primary or ionizable valency. Second, secondary or non-ionizable valency. Secondary or non-ionizable valency. It means in a complex compound or in a coordination compound, generally each metal has two types of the valencies. First valency, it is called as a primary or ionizable valency. And second valency, it is a secondary or non-ionizable valency. For example, in this complex compound, the complex compound is given here on the screen. You can see here CuNH3,4SO4. So in this complex compound, the copper is a metal here. So copper has two types of the valencies. First one, it is a primary or ionizable valency. So primary valency of the copper is 2 here. How it becomes 2? Because this SO4 2 minus ion, SO4 2 minus ion, it is ionizable. It is ionizable. Okay. When this complex ion, it is dissociated, CuNH3,4 SO4. Actually, we know that this is the positive part of the complex and this is the negative part of the complex. And this sulfate ion, it is ionizable. So it will be ionized as CuNH3,4 CuNH3,4 NH3 4 here, then 2 plus and SO4 2 minus, SO4 2 minus. So this is ionizable valency. Copper is having primary valency, that is 2, while its secondary valency is 4. 4 ammonia molecules are linked to the copper, therefore its secondary valency is 4. Primary valencies are non-directional. Non-directional means they are not going to form any bond with the copper metal ion. But secondary valencies are directional. They can be directed in a space. They can be formed the bond with the central metal ion. So this is the first postulate or assumption of the Warner coordination theory. Warner was the first scientist who has explained something about the coordination compound. Actually, on that time, this concept was totally new. So Warner was the pioneer in this field of the coordination compound. He has discovered the coordination compound. So according to the Warner theory, each metal has two types of the valencies. In a complex, there is a metal, there is a ligand. So each metal has two types of the valencies. First one, it is primary or ionizable valency. So the primary valency of the copper, it is 2 here. and the ionizable valency, it is sulfate ion, which is ionizable. And secondary or non-ionizable valency, that is ammonia molecule. 4 ammonia molecules are linked, and it is non-ionizable. It cannot be separated from the metal. It is linked to the metal. It has been formed the bond with the metal. So this is the first assumption, first postulate. Now second postulate, you can see here, primary valency is satisfied by negative ions. Primary valency is satisfied by negative ions, while secondary valency may be satisfied by either negative ions, neutral molecules, or in some cases by positive ions. Okay, so you can see the example of this complex. The primary valency of the cobalt, here 3. Primary valency of the cobalt is 3 because 3 chlorides are there out of this square bracket. So this is the primary valency, and it is satisfied by the negative chloride ions. Chloride ions will carry the negative ions. 3 chloride ions are there. Hence, primary valency of the cobalt ion, it is 3 here. Cobalt, it is 3 here. And secondary valency is 6 because 6 ammonia molecules are linked to the cobalt. And it is non-ionizable. Okay, it is non-ionizable. On ionization, this complex will give, we can write here the ionization of this complex, CONH3 6Cl3. So primary valency is 3, that is ionizable valency, it is chloride ion. So on ionization, this complex will give CONH3 6 3 plus and 3 chloride ions. So this is the primary valency, and which is satisfied by the chloride ion, and 6 ammonia molecule. Secondary valency is 6 here, which is satisfied by the neutral molecule. So secondary valency may be satisfied by either negative, either positive, or either satisfy the primary valency, as well as secondary valency, because 3 plus 3 6. Okay, so sometimes it happens, but in this case that primary valency, it is not ionizable. Okay, it is not ionizable here, remember this. Okay, can you hear me? आवाज येतोय? Yes, reply करा. You have to reply. Yes, आवाज येतोय?
हो सर, येतोय आवाज.
हाँ, okay. So some okay. Some disconnectivity is there. Okay. So let us see here. Once again, I would like to continue this topic. So primary valency is satisfied by the negative ions. This is true. While secondary valency may be satisfied by either negative ions, neutral molecules, or occasionally even by the positive ions. Okay. So in this complex ion, the primary valency is 3 and it is satisfied by the 3 chloride ions. In this case, the secondary valency is 6. It is satisfied by the 6 ammonia molecules. Okay. Now third postulates of the Warner coordination theory. It is very important. A metal possesses fixed number of secondary valencies. A metal possesses fixed number of secondary valencies called coordination number. Metal is having fixed number of secondary valencies, and that fixed number, it is called as a coordination number. Now suppose in this complex ion CONH3 the number of the secondary valencies are equal to 6. It is also the coordination number of the metal. That number should be fixed. Okay, so that is also the coordination number of the metal. This is third assumption. Now let us see the fourth assumption here. Secondary valencies are directed in a space. Okay, secondary valencies are directed in a space around the central metal ion, and this postulates predict the stereoisomerism of the complex compound. In stereoisomerism, we has been already discussed this geometrical isomerism and optical isomerism. So secondary valencies are directed in space around the central metal ion. For example, let us going to represent here secondary valencies of this complex ion. That complex ion, it is known to us CO NH36 Cl3. So secondary valency, it is 6. It is satisfied by the ammonia molecule, that is a neutral molecule, and the secondary valencies are directed in a space. So they are supposed to be like this. Secondary valencies are directed in a space, occupies some position in that complex compound or in that coordination compounds. Okay. While primary valencies does not occupy a space here around the central metal ion, but the secondary valencies are directed in a space around the central metal ion. Okay. So this is about the secondary valencies. Then fifth assumption, fifth postulate, the combining power of the metal is divided into two spheres of attraction. The combining power of metal, now see here, cobalt metal, is divided into two spheres of attraction, that is inner sphere or coordination sphere, inner sphere or coordination sphere, and the outer sphere or ionization sphere. Okay, outer sphere or ionization sphere. Neutral molecules or oppositely charged ions which satisfy the secondary valencies of the metal are linked to the central metal ion in the coordination sphere. In the coordination sphere, generally secondary valencies are there. Okay, secondary valencies are linked to the metal in the coordination sphere. Okay, which satisfy the secondary valencies of the metal are linked to the central metal ion in the coordination sphere, while the outer sphere contains loosely held ionizable ions. For example, see here, this complex compound CONH36Cl3, CONH36Cl3. So let us see in this complex compound, I would like to draw the structure of this complex compound here. See here, CONH36, CONH36Cl3. So let us write here primary valency. Whatever now we know, primary valency of cobalt is 3 here, satisfied by 3 chloride ions. Okay, then secondary valencies which are fixed, secondary valency of cobalt is 6 here, satisfied by ammonia molecules, neutral ammonia molecules. Okay, now fixed number of the secondary valencies, it is called as a coordination number also. So coordination number, coordination number, yes.
सर मग न्यूट्रल मॉलिक्यूल कशी आहे व्हॅलेन्सी तिथं?
yes neutral molecule
न्यूट्रल आहे ना?
हा NH3 is
molecule neutral आहे, मग व्हॅलेन्सी 6 कशी आली?
Because 6 ammonia molecules are linked to the cobalt, so valency of the cobalt is 6 here. Okay, they are linked to the metal, hence valency of the cobalt is 6 here. Later on, valency of the cobalt is 6. So this was the assumption of the Warner coordination theory. Okay, because he was the pioneer to explain something about the coordination compounds. So he has given such ideas. Later on it will be modified. Okay, later on it has been modified. Okay, so the secondary valency of the cobalt is 6 here, satisfied by the ammonia molecules. Coordination number, it is equal to the fixed secondary valencies, it is equal to 6. Okay, so now in this case, This inside the square bracket, it is called as a inner sphere. It is called as a inner sphere, or it is also called as a coordination sphere, where in the inner sphere or coordination sphere, number of secondary valencies are linked to the metal. Okay, number of the secondary valencies are linked to the metal, and out of the coordination sphere, that is outer sphere or ionizable sphere, ionizable. Okay, so in this case, outer sphere, it is this chloride ion out of the square bracket, but it is not linked to the cobalt. Remember this. It is ionizable. On ionization, there is a formation of the chloride ions. So this is the explanation of the Warner coordination theory. The outer sphere contains loosely held ionizable ions. Okay. So to distinguish the two spheres of attraction, means the combining power of the metal is divided into two spheres, inner sphere and outer sphere. In inner sphere, secondary valencies are there. In outer sphere, primary valencies are there. So combining power of the metal is divided into the two parts, that is inner sphere and outer sphere, or coordination sphere or ionization sphere. Okay, so let us going to explain this now. Fifth assumptions are there. Once again, I would like to uh, concentrate on to the fifth assumptions. First one, each metal exhibit two types of the valencies, primary valency or ionizable valency. And second type, it is a secondary valency or non-ionizable valency. For example, in CuNH3,4SO4, so primary valency of the copper is 2 because it is satisfied by the SO4 minus ion, while the secondary valency of the copper is 4 because 4 ammonia molecules are linked to the copper. Now primary valencies are non-directional. It is not having any direction toward the central metal ion, but secondary valencies are directional. It is having particular direction toward the central metal ion. Secondary valencies are they are at the definite space in the coordination sphere. Second assumption, primary valencies is satisfied by the negative ions, while secondary valencies may be satisfied by either negative ions, positive ions, or neutral molecules. Okay. A metal possesses fixed number of secondary valencies called as a coordination number. Secondary valencies are directed in a space. They occupy certain space around the central metal ion. And this assumption, this postulates also predict the stereoisomerism of the complex compounds. We know that complex compounds are showing the stereoisomerisms. They are showing the geometrical isomerism. They are showing the optical isomerisms, because the number of the secondary valencies who are directed in a space around the central metal ion. Now the last assumption is that the combining power of the metal is divided into the two spheres of the attraction. The combining power of the metal is divided into the two spheres of attraction, that is inner or coordination sphere and outer or ionization sphere. Neutral molecules or oppositely charged ions which satisfy the secondary valencies of the metal are linked to the central ion in the coordination sphere. Generally, secondary valencies are linked to the metal in the coordination sphere, while the outer sphere contains the loosely held ionizable ions that is not permanently attached to the metal. Our ionization, they are supposed to be separated from that complex part, separated from the complex compound. Okay. So let us see now to distinguish the two spheres of attraction. Coordination sphere should be right in the square bracket, and out of the square bracket, the outer sphere is there, or ionization sphere is there. Okay. So on the basis of this assumption, now let us going to be explain the two compounds here. Structure of the two compounds. Warner formulated COCl3 6NH3, this first compound. Warner formulated two compounds here. First one, it is COCl3 6NH3. COCl3 6NH3, this compound. The first attempt Warner was made. So according to him, COCl3 6NH3, and COCl3 5NH3. Okay. So COCl3 6NH3 can be written in this way. Ammonia, it is a secondary valency in the coordination sphere. Chloride, it is a primary valency, it is the ionization sphere or outer sphere. Okay, so let us see the structure of the complex COCl3 6NH3 can be represented. Number of chloride ions precipitated equal to 3. Okay, 3 chloride ions. See here, linkage, dotted line, it is shown here. This is temporary linkage with the cobalt. It indicates that the primary valency is 3 here. Primary valency is 3 here. This dotted line shows that it is temporarily attached to the metal. It is easily ionizable. And this fixed line, wedge line, dark line, shows that ammonia molecule, it is linked to the central metal cobalt. So 1, 2, 3, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 ammonia molecules are linked to the cobalt. Okay. So the structure of this complex COCl3 6NH3 can be shown. Number of chloride ions precipitate 3. Because suppose when you are adding the silver nitrate solution here in this complex ion, when you are adding the silver nitrate solution, when you treat this complex, this compound with the silver nitrate solution, there is a formation of 3 silver chloride precipitate. Let us write that reaction here. 1 minute. CO NH3 6 Cl3 reacts with silver nitrate. We are getting the precipitate of 3 silver chloride here. Okay, 3 silver chloride. Because these 3 chloride ions are ionizable, it is easily removed from this because it is in the outer sphere of the coordination compound, ionizable sphere of the coordination compound. Okay. And this complex ion, it is separated here. CONH3 6 3 plus. This is the complex ion. But this secondary valency, it is not removed. It is fixed. It is attached to the cobalt here. Then total number of ions are equal to 4. How there is a total number of the ions? You can see here. This is one complex ion. Okay. And these are 3 chloride ions here. 3 chloride ions are here. 3 chloride ions and 1 complex ion. So total number of ions in this case, it is equal to 4. Okay. 1 complex ion and 3 chloride ions. Let us see now in this complex. COCl3 5NH3. COCl3 5NH3. So in this case, a structure of COCl3 5NH3 complex. Number of chloride ions precipitate, only 2 here. Okay. Even though 3 chloride ions are there, but only 2 chloride ions get precipitated. Okay, remember this. Only because this chloride ion, it is a secondary valency here also. It is a secondary valency as well as it is a primary valency. Remember this. But it is not separated. It is not precipitated. Remember this. Only these 2 chloride ions, which are out of the coordination sphere. We can represent this in this way. CO NH3 5 Cl Cl2. Okay, so 2 chloride ions are there in the coordination sphere, and this is 1 complex ion. So total number of ions are equal to 1, 2 equal to 3. See here, number of chloride ions precipitated when you are adding silver nitrate here. Silver nitrate. Okay, so only this chloride ion and this chloride ion react with the silver nitrate. This is not going to react. So this structure has been explained by the Warner coordination theory. So what is the secondary valency? What is the primary valency? Primary valencies are ionizable. Secondary valencies are non-ionizable. That is a very important thing. Let us see the explanation of this compound now. In CONH3 6 Cl3, coordination number of the CO3 plus cobalt ion, it is 6. Oxidation state of the cobalt is 3 plus here, that is known to us. Oxidation state of the cobalt, it is 3 plus here. How it is 3 plus, you can see. Oxidation state of the cobalt, it is 6 here. Sorry, it is 3 here. How it becomes 3, you can see here. X, this is X here, plus 0, ammonia is a neutral molecule. This 3 chloride minus 3 equal to 0, X equal to plus 3. So coordination number of the cobalt, it is 6, because 6 ammonia molecules are linked to the cobalt, and 6 secondary valencies are there. 6 ammonia molecules are enclosed in square bracket, satisfy the secondary valency, while the 3 chloride ions satisfy the primary valency of the cobalt ion. Since complex compounds do not retain any of the properties of the central metal ion or the ligands, solution of CONH3,6Cl3 does not give any reaction of cobalt ion or any reaction of ammonia ion. Why this is? Because the cobalt ion is linked to the ammonia molecules here. There is a bond between the cobalt ion and the ammonia molecules, as we have shown here. Okay, so the cobalt ion is not free here, so it does not give any taste with the cobalt ion, it does not give any reaction with the cobalt ion, or it does not give any reaction with the ammonia molecule, because the ammonia molecules are linked to the cobalt ion. So what is free there? The chloride ions are free, which is ionizable. Okay, so however, it gives the reaction of chloride ions. Okay, reaction of chloride ions. When we are adding the silver nitrate solution, there is a formation of the silver chloride precipitate. The 3 chloride ions are precipitated as silver chloride here. Okay, so this is the explanation belongs to CONH3,6Cl3. Then see next complex, that is CONH3,5Cl Cl2. Coordination number, of course, it is 6. 1 chlorine, 5 ammonia molecules. Coordination number is 6. Oxidation state of the metal, it is also 3 here. Let us find out the oxidation state of the metal. Okay, see oxidation state of the metal here. Okay, oxidation state of the metal here. So you can see it is X plus 0 minus 1 minus 2 equal to 0, X equal to plus 3. Coordination number is 6 here, that is true. 1 chloro and 5 ammonia molecules are the secondary valencies. The 5 ammonia molecules and 1 chloride ions are enclosed in the square bracket. Enclosed in the square bracket. Satisfy the secondary valency of the cobalt, that is 6. The 2 chloride ions which are outside the square bracket and 1 chloride ion which is in square bracket satisfy the primary valency. Okay, satisfy the primary valency of the cobalt. Therefore, 1 chloride ion does the dual function. This chloride ion, it play the dual function as it satisfy both primary and secondary valency. It satisfy both primary and secondary valency, because the primary valency of the cobalt, it is 3 here. Remember, it is 3. So it 1 will be this chloro and 2 will be this. So 1 plus 2, 3. So 1 chloride ion does have the dual function. It is also involved in the secondary valency. Therefore, it is not ionizable. Otherwise, you can say that why it is not ionizable. Primary valencies are ionizable. On the same time, we are showing this. But actually, if the primary valency is playing both the role, it is primary as well as secondary, then it is not ionizable. Okay. So see here, therefore, 1 chloride ion does play the dual function as it satisfy both primary and secondary valencies. So since chloride ion is not ionic here, is not ionic, because our ionization we cannot show it is ionic. Therefore, on addition of the silver nitrate, only 2 chloride ions are two chloride ions are precipitate. Let us show this. CONH3 5 CONH3 5Cl square bracket and Cl2 reacts with silver nitrate solution. Okay. Two molecules are required here, so formation of precipitate of 2 silver chloride. So these 2 chloride ions are the primary valencies. So this is the explanation of the Warner coordination theory. Warner coordination theory. Let us see on the basis of this explain other compounds also. COCl3 4NH3, COCl3 4NH3 and COCl3 3NH3. Let us going to explain this. COCl3 and 4NH3. COCl3 4NH3 on the basis of the Warner coordination theory, and COCl3 thrice NH3. See, represent the structure of this compound. COCl3 4NH3 first. So NH3 it is in the coordination sphere. NH3 here. Suppose NH3 here, okay, and Cl here, and one NH3, okay, and one chloro is extra here. So let us represent by dotted line. Okay. Now see here, this is also by dotted line. This is also by dotted line. See, this is the structure of this compound. Structure of this compound. So in this compound, the primary valency of the cobalt is 3. Primary valency of the cobalt is 3 here. This chlorine, this chlorine, this chlorine. But out of the 3 chlorine, 2 chlorine are also satisfying the secondary valencies. This, okay, 2 chlorine are also satisfy the secondary valency. So we can show the structure representation of this compound in this way. CONH3 4, CONH3 4, Cl2 and Cl. Okay. So the primary valency of the cobalt, it is 3 here, because these 2 chlorine involved in the primary valency as well as secondary valency. Dual function. They are playing the role of the dual function here. And this is only playing the role of the one function, primary valency. But overall total valency, primary valency becomes equal to 3 here. Okay. And secondary valencies are equal to 6. This 4 plus 2, it is equal to 6. Now when this complex ion is treated with silver nitrate, only this chloride ion, it is ionizable. Formation of silver chloride precipitate. Okay, this dotted line, it is removable, while these 2 chloro are not removable here. So this explanation, it is on the basis of the Warner theory. Okay, on the basis of the Warner theory. So let us take some examples here. Okay, see compound, already we have discussed these compounds now, but again you can see COCl3 6NH3. This is the compound. Warner formula, this is Warner formula. Cation, which is, this is the cationic part, and this is the anionic part. This is positive part, this is negative part. So this is positive part. Anion, 3 chloride ions, very simple. Total number of ions are equal to 4. 1 plus 3, it is equal to 4 here. Okay. See in this case, COCl3 5NH3. Warner formula, it is CONH3 5Cl, Cl2. This chlorine now, both primary valency as well as secondary valency. Okay. So cation, it is this is the cationic part, and this is the anionic part. CONH3 5 2 plus 2 chloride ions. So total number of the ions are 3. This is 1 plus 2, 3 here. COCl3 4NH3. So Warner formula, it is CONH3 4 Cl2. Okay. Total number of secondary valencies are equal to 6. 4 plus 2. Primary valency, it is 3. Okay. Cation. This is the cationic part, and this is the anionic part. So one chloride ion and one complex ion, 1 plus 1 2. So in this way, we can represent here the coordination compounds on the basis of the Warner theory. Warner was the first scientist who has explained such coordination compounds. So you should understand what is primary valency, what is secondary valency, what is coordination number, what is coordination sphere, what is outer sphere. This understanding should be very, very important here. Okay. So Warner explained something about the coordination